Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Namaskar, dear friends. This video is about Holi, Holika, Dol Jatra or Dol Purnima. Dol Jatra and Holi are celebrated on the full moon day, that is the Purnima day of the Shukla part of the month of Falguna Masa. A small introduction is necessary before we proceed further. Nowadays, everything Hindu is criticized by the so-called highly qualified, modern, educated, secular people. The mark that women wear on their forehead, the sari, the temples, the festivities, everything is criticized. They find fault. Dol Purnima or Holi is not left aside. They now say that water is wasted. There is the desert. There are places where people walk 10 miles to get water, and you waste water here by taking bath. Indians take bath daily, twice, thrice, sometimes during the summer season. Once a year somebody bathes a little more. That's no harm. But they will criticize. They will not criticize industries which are polluting water continuously. Recently, the present government closed down at least 200 tanneries, leather industries in Kanpur. These industries used to pollute the river Ganga and destroy it. Many more are still there, destroying the rivers. That nobody will see. In any case, Holi, Holika or Dol Purnima is being celebrated by the Hindus not from now but since the last 4,000 or 5,000 years. There is a wonderful story mentioned in the Bhavishottara Purana. One day, Yudhishthira asked Sri Krishna Bhagavan, on the Falguna Shukla Purnima Tithi, that's the full moon of this month of Falguna, young men, the boys, become extremely active. They move about shouting from door to door, they collect wood, they burn holaka, they make joyful noise, and they throw colors at one another. Which deity is being worshipped? Who started this festival? Sri Krishna replies, Dharmaraja, there was a demoness by name Dhondha. She adored Shiva and got a boon that she should not be killed by the gods or the kings. She should not be killed during cold season or the hot season. She should not be killed in shadow or in light. So Shiva granted the boon and she began tormenting people, especially the youth and the young boys. People came to the king. The king of the Ikshvakus then was Raghu. Raghu heard the complaint and consulted the priests. The priests told the king, O king, Shiva gave the boon, but he has also warned her about one thing. Shiva said, there will be immense danger to you if the youth go about crazily making joyful noises and sounds. Since this has to be done when there is no cold or rain or heat, the 15th day of the month of Falguna is chosen. On this Purnima day, there is the transition from the cold season to the hot season. So then, in the evening, Holi or Holaka is celebrated with the Ragna mantra. The boys set fire and the demoness is killed. This is how the festival has come into existence. This is one story. Apart from this story of the Bhavishottara Purana, there is the well-known story of Prahalada. Prahalada was a young boy, a devotee, whose father Hiranyakashipu was a demon and he threw him into fire and the boy was saved. The next story we hear is Kama Dahana story. The story of how Bhagavan Shiva used his third eye to kill the king of desire, the god of desire, Kama. The fourth story related to Holi is the story of Bhagavan Sri Krishna who played with the gopis when he was a child in Vrindavana. So Krishna and Radhika are worshipped on this day. This is also related to Holi. How ancient is the Holi festival? Holika is mentioned in the oldest texts of Sanatana Dharma. There are two important sutras or aphorisms in Jaimini's Mimamsa Sutra. Purva Mimamsa Sutra of Jaimini, Dharma Sutras. The 15th and the 16th sutras of the third chapter of the first part says, Apicha sarvadharma syat tat nyayatvad vidhanasya. This is the sutra. Maharshi Shabara, commenting on these two verses, speaks of the ancient Holika festival. I shall read in Sanskrit. He says, Atha kimartham na lingavyavastha yatha shuklo hola holika iti nasti tan nityamesham lingam, etc. He says that though Sanatana Dharma or Dharma is universal, certain acts, rituals, etc. can be regional. They can be particular. Some are universal. Holi, for instance, he says, is not a particular festival of any particular group. It's universal, but there is something important. This Shukla Paksha festival, Shabara Maharshi says, can have different variations. Yatha udikya iti samakhyatah ye prachya iti tan holakadim. Each one will have his own or her own way of celebrating this festival. Desha samyogad akhya bhavati. According to the region, the celebration will be different. Shabara Maharshi writes further in this Mimamsa Sutra, Pratyascha holakadim anya deshascha desha deshantaragato na nitya yogatah parapadarthan karoti. He says the variety like Rajasuya, which is universal in Hindu Dharma, all kings have to do the same way, is not there when it comes to Holi festival. It can be various, it can be different. So the next important ancient text which mentions Holika or Holi is the Kataka Grihya Sutra. Here, again I will read in Sanskrit, it says, Yathacha Phalguna Paurnamasyaha Pradoshe Shushka Kashtha Karisha Sanchayasya. During this period, on this day, collecting dry firewood, Rakshasognair Mantrair Agnina Deepanam. They must repeat the Rakshasogna mantra, the mantra which destroys demon or evil, and then set fire. Kila kila tala shabda purvakam tasya agnehe trihi paribhramanam. Making various sounds, music, etc. They must go round and round this lighted fire for 3 or 4 times, and then Shankhadi Nana Vidha Nama Kirtanam. You must also sing the names and glories of God. Paraspara Bahu Khali Uddhadhin. They must play. All this to be done the previous evening. The next morning, Vanditasi Bhutida Bhava iti mantrina. Vanditasi Bhutida Bhava. With this mantra, they have to touch the ashes of the previous night, and then this is the festival. The holy part begins the next day. So, amongst the Puranas, several of them mention Holika. The Linga Purana says this festival is celebrated in order to attain samvriddhi or plenty or prosperity. This is the idea behind this festival. When you kill the demon, when you kill darkness, you overcome evil or obstacles to your prosperity and richness. This is the idea behind the festival. The next important thing to know is, why did we have this name Holi or Holaka, etc.? The Bhavishottara Purana itself has a wonderful verse which tells this. Sarva dushta damo homaha sarva rogopashantidaha क्रियते अस्या द्विजैः पार्थ तेन सा होलिका मता सर्वदुष्टतमो होमः. This homa sacrifice which destroys all evil, sarva rogopashantida, it also destroys all disease. Kriyate asya dvijaihi partha, those Vipras celebrate this festival and therefore it is called Holika. So Holika festival is so sacred that it destroys evil, it destroys diseases and so on. Therefore, from the word Homa, the word Holika has come into existence. There is a work called Dola Yatra Viveka. This book says that the Dol festival, Dol Purnima, should be between 3 or 5 days. It's a festive season where the cold winter is gone and summer has set in. The image of Sri Krishna as Govinda has to be worshipped. How is he to be worshipped? He should be placed on a swing and the swing has to be moved to and fro at least 21 times. This is how Govinda is to be worshipped on the Dol Purnima day. There is one more book, the Kataka Grihi Sutras, which in the 73rd chapter has a sutra dedicated to Holi. Raka Holake is the sutra. Raka means the moon. On the full moon day, Holake, Hola festival is to be celebrated. Hola karma visheshaha saubhagyasya strinam pratar anushtiyate. In order that the women will remain sumangalis, their saubhagya will be restored. Holi or Holaka is celebrated. Hola karma visheshaha saubhagyasya strinam pratar anushtiyate. This Hola karma, this holy festival is performed by women for their saubhagya, so that they remain married, they have prosperity in the family. Tatra holake raka devata yaste rake sumatasya ityadi anyata vyachakshate, and so on. It goes on saying that Raka holaka paryayam kumari sukartham yajna vivahopakrama prasiddhanushtanam vakshyama ityartha. This Raka holaka, this festival celebrated on the Purnima day, not only brings saubhagya to the married woman, but also brings good husband, that is marriage, etc., to the youth, the young girls and so on. So, yatha Kashmireshu and so on. He says that there are different regions in which this Holaka or Holi is celebrated since very ancient times. He says that Ratrau Grihadvaropashanteshu Agni Prajvalanam. In order that the family may have peace and prosperity, in the evening fire is lit. And then they also speak of distributing sweets and so on. So Holi is a huge festival celebrated by the Hindus not just now for fun, but it's a very traditional, very sacred festival to bring peace, prosperity and well-being to the whole family and to the whole race. This day, Purnima, is also famous for one more thing. Perhaps one of the most important events happened, and that was the birth of Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chaitanya in Bengal. Though the calendar dates may vary slightly, this day is considered to be the birthday of Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the embodiment of Radha and Sri Krishna in one person, and Radha and Krishna are worshipped even today during this Dol Purnima. About the colors thrown at each other during this festival. Everything can be misused. You can misuse everything in this world. You can use the surgeon's knife to harm somebody. You can adulterate food that brings life to kill many people. Everything is possible in this world, and there are people with evil minds who do all these things to gain a little wealth, and they suffer in the end. So, the same thing happens when it comes to the colors used during the Holi festival also. Colors can be intentionally manipulated with throwing water balloons, for instance. Throwing water balloons Color balloons, acid, and so on are all not at all natural practices related with this festival. Sometimes adding harmful chemicals like chromium, iodine, and so on may naturally cause immense harm. Using the pump to throw color was slightly practiced in the past, not in this way. Traditional colors have been used since ancient times, like gulal, abir, and so on. They are all healthy plant-based natural colors, some made of marigold, some made of spring flowers, berries, spices, and other plants. They are timely, seasonal, and they help in the protection of the skin also. Mica, which is used now, is generally considered safe, but if a greedy merchant adds something more to it, that would be unfortunate. So everything can be misused. Holi, the festival of colors, is considered to be a very safe and extremely noble festival where wonderful things, safe things, healthy things have been used since the very remote past to bring joy, happiness, and prosperity to everyone. This is the idea behind the Holika festival. All the criticism about wastage of water and so on should be directed towards the industries which harm, pollute, degenerate, and destroy water to bring diseases to the masses. Therefore, Holi is a festival like the festival of lights, Deepavali, which is aimed at removing sorrow, distress, disease, pain, and so on, which are the demons which have occupied the land or the earth, and to convert this earth into a place of joyful living. Let us all celebrate this Dol Utsav, Dol Purnima, or Holi, with immense faith and joy, with prayer and with fulfillment. Thank you very much. Harihi Om Tat Sat.